saying goodbye to the railyard. This isn't what you promised us. I know. We hate you. I know. Destined to fracture and fail in its direction, 3 men watched the railyard drift into slumber, now to be abandoned in the wild and obscurity, left to the elements of overgrowth and thunder. But one last voyage was to commence on the tracks. The men knew too well as the rails creaked in relief. A train and single, spacious, open-side carriage seemingly open for all to jump on. The last chance to leave and embrace the belief. The belief of true change for a future. One of the men was eager to make it, knowing this was the escape from his prevailing reality. He'd grown so tired of his surroundings and knew he couldn't survive the same way anymore. His mind had already moved on and favoured his understanding of his own mentally imbalanced duality, biased mostly towards never looking back. Though the other 2 men thought they wanted to leave too, believing they understood what it meant to embrace a change so vast, like joining a series late on in its runtime, not knowing the location, stories, or cast, thinking they didn't care, and it would all work out. Wait, are you getting on the train? The first man had already made strides towards the slow-moving carriage. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I? You said we'd go together. Then come with me. The other 2 men stood uncomfortably, figuring out how to respond to him. We can't change enough to make this work. Then what do you expect me to do? Stay and decay with you? So you think staying with us will ruin you, do you? If you can't change, then yes, it will. Then why stay with us in the first place? Why build up our hopes just to leave? What kind of man does that make you? A bad one that's taking the best course for his future. I thought things would work out with us all, and it just hasn't. You pushed me to this. How the fuck did we push this to you? How the fuck is any of this our fault? You're the one that's leaving us here by ourselves. I'm leaving to get away from both of you. Alright, I said it. Does that make you feel any better? Have you reached some kind of satisfaction hearing what you already knew? I said we'd go at life together, but it just hasn't worked, alright? I see that, and I'm moving on. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to lie to myself and pretend that I can see any kind of future with either of you. We're only here because of you. You promised us this place would be where we grow together, and now we're all out here, you're abandoning us. We can't go wherever you're going because we know that you'll leave us no matter where you go. Why'd you bring us here in the first place if you're going to leave now? Because at the time, I didn't see this future. I saw a happier one with all of us, but things have changed and this is no longer healthy for me. So because it's no longer good for you, you're just going to abandon everything we've built together? To save my own life? Yes. This isn't what you promised us. I know. We hate you. I know. The first man climbed aboard the open side carriage, a look of remorse and unspeakable loss in his eyes and heart. Though he had said what he did with affirmation and certainty, he knew this new future would slowly tear him apart. He had to leave. He knew it was true. The other men shouted abuse as he was carried away. He was uncertain if he could forgive himself, how long it would be till he could sleep soundly and say, in the end, I made the right choice. He'd brought them there to conquer the world, 3 men bound for greatness on a scale no one had ever known. But those bindings loosened the longer they spent together. From the shared optimism of their beginnings to their diverging paths to walk alone. He wished he had never brought them along on his journey, for his sake and for theirs. He took one last look back, seeing the other men seethe with anger, cursing him with every breath they would ever have. He looked back ahead, saying goodbye to the railyard as it began to fade into the distance, understanding the choice he had just made would change his life forever. Wishing the past to be a wet clay he could reshape for a pristine present and future.